Dr. Aparna Jojair, Ayurvedic physician. My teacher training was of only 50 hours duration. But I learned so much. Most of all, this training built up my self-confidence, including that for teaching yoga to others. I learned how to teach based on capacity of individuals, how to teach asanas, and how to make students perform them. In his unique method, at yoga, we learn how to perform yoga exercise, how to synchronize breathing with the exercise, how to do perfect the asana, and how to use various supports during the yoga exercise. Also, I learned how to manage timing of various yoga exercises, including asana, vinyasa, and pranayama. I also learned how to instruct in a simple, succinct, and effective manner. I also learned how to teach small children. I already knew asanas to a good extent. But his training taught me how to go deeper into asanas. Above all, this training taught me how yoga exercise should be performed to satisfy one's individual goal and how to perfect such an exercise. In the same manner, I learned how the goal of my life should be attained using appropriate methods. Dr. Aparna Jojair. Archana Sanchetti, fitness trainer. I am Archana Sanchetti, a fitness trainer and now trained by Neil Kulkarni as a yoga trainer. My view looking towards yoga as an art has changed drastically because of Neil Sir. Neil Sir is very well read and has intense knowledge of yoga. His Adhi Yoga system is a boon to the society and I am so proud to be a part of it. Neil has defined yoga in such a way that it automatically makes our journey inwards, without even our realizing this. I have started my inward journey because of his guidance, and my realization plus Adhi Yoga system will definitely help all whom I connect with and help an upbringing of humanity and spread love and happiness to all. Always keep happy face. Best luck. Thank you Neil Sir for everything. Archana Sanchetti. Neha Gaikwad, Pune. I did 50 hours training with Neil Kulkarni. From the first day of the class he made me ready mentally that I am training to become a teacher and not just a student. I like his exceptional way of teaching, which goes with the modern time, without losing the authenticity of it. His teaching is clear, precise, and brilliant. Neil Kulkarni Sir is a really special teacher and a unique person. He taught me not only his style of teaching, but also gave me freedom to come up with my own style. He has years of experience and therefore his knowledge is vast. I am very happy from the training I took from him, and looking forward to learn more from him during his next visit to India. Neha Gaikwad. Teresa Nuvola, Napoli, Italy. I was blessed with the opportunity to translate Neil's latest and complete work Adhi Yoga, Authentic Yoga System of Neil Kulkarni, into Italian language. Also, I have completed 300 hours yoga teacher training with him. Due to this, I was extremely lucky to spend entire 2 months in India, observing and studying his work closely. I found Neil's methodology amazing because it is in harmony with the most profound and often forgotten discipline of Raja Yoga, which has mind at the center of each study and training. Thanks to his smartness and knowledge of the most diverse human types as he spurs each of his students to get in touch with and master his/her mind. Then, the body follows the mind without too much effort. Hence comes a day you find yourself looking to the world upside down without even knowing how. During my prolonged teacher training, he had some other teacher trainees for shorter training, and also other yoga students from various countries and with diverse backgrounds. I noticed that each and every student's training was different and suited exactly to the student's needs and goals, sometimes even beyond them understanding this. It looked like he has a no-bottom pot he can go in whenever is needed and search for further knowledge. I found in Neil a person with great humanity and practicality, as well as extremely authentic because he himself is 100% coherent with his system. His system is not rigid. It is open to every criticism when discussed methodically. Actually, he spurs his students to question everything through their own experience. To sum up, I would define his teaching method totally unconventional. Due to his roots, he has extremely profound knowledge of Indian spiritual tradition, including, of course, yoga and meditation. Additionally, due to his living in U.S. and travels around the world, he is capable of understanding Western culture while keeping himself a very simple, joyful, and easygoing man. Teresa Nuvola. Cinzia Renzavillo, yoga teacher, Italy and Pune. I did the 200 TTC with Neil last year. I was already very satisfied, and for this I decided to complete my 500-hour TTC Yoga Alliance training with him. He has been very intuitive and exceptional at meeting my expectations and needs. He gave me direct feedback on my teaching, helping me identify my strengths and see where I could improve. He encouraged me to come out of the comfort zone of established yoga school and tradition to try on myself and create my own style of teaching and thinking. Thanks to him, I'm more clear, concise, and direct. Cinzia, Italy. Cinzia Renzavillo. Michaela, Italy. I enjoyed the course of Neil Kulkarni because it gave me the opportunity to know the Indian philosophy in more depth, approaching not only yoga but also to Indian culture. The explanations were clear and in-depth, demonstrating a knowledge and a remarkable ability to display. The teaching of yoga practice was unique and very instructive, making me understand that every client should be analyzed differently but precisely. I learned of a new method that definitely helped me in my future career as a teacher, helping in the difficult task of analyzing the potential difficulties of my students. I am able to develop my short attention span into a higher one. The course is also very useful to develop a level of attention to special aids education that sometimes are taken for granted. The attention given to both the philosophy and yoga exercises, by perfect closer look on what needs to be yoga, not only physical activity and body care, but also a development of the ability to concentrate until you come to a coordination body-mind. The course tries to bring out the discipline of yoga from the simple sphere related to fitness to fit it in its original form, which is a means of improving teachers' lives and those of their students. I especially appreciate the advice on learning the different asanas, a new and attentive to detail to develop in contemporary knowledge of the pose and the breath-mind coordination. The course of 200 hours was definitely well as cultural enrichment also staff, an important point of view that undoubtedly will help me in this long journey to become yoga. Michaela. Michaela, Italy. Deepa Nair, yoga teacher, Pune, India. Doing training with Neil was a very unique experience. During the classes, Neil discussed his Adiyoga philosophy a lot and explained how it was different. I liked his definition of yoga, any activity done with mental focus. We focused a lot on the breath part along with asanas. He makes one think and build their own style. He can teach yoga anywhere and make every experience a learning opportunity. His vast knowledge and style of teaching of the philosophies of yoga, Bhagavad Gita, and the Patanjali Yoga Sutras was really nice. Thanks, Neil. Deepa Nair. Deepa Nair. Lida, Russia. Yoga teacher training is an interesting and educational journey in world of yoga. By detailed learning of theory and intensive practice, I found answers to my questions. Thank you, Neil, for individual approach to each student. It was positive and productive approach. I have got a lot of useful skills in leading yoga class and teaching poses and breathing, meditation and mudras, how to maintain focus in class, how to approach special needs that people have, and so many other useful things. Thank you for attention to details. Thank you. Now it is time to practice and mastering skills. Lida. November 29, 2015. Lida, Russia. Vyacheslav Svitalo, Russia. I had my 200 hours training in an interesting places, a noisy and smoky but very vibrant Pune city. From the first day of my training, my understanding of yoga became deeper. I understood more about history and philosophy of yoga. Every day I understood more and more about the inner working of physical exercises of yoga, breathing practice, and meditation. Of course, all this knowledge has been supported by intensive practice. This knowledge and practice would help me to choose my way of development with the understanding of direction where this path will lead me. By using the practice of teaching, I know efficient and quality methods, how to lead group during practice, how to choose sequence of poses and breathing, what to say and on which points to pay attention to, how to rest properly after exercises. I have learned more about healthy lifestyle and nutrition. Now I know in which direction I want to move further. Big thank you for your training, Neil. Anita Leombruni, yoga teacher, Italy. I did my first TTC with Neil in 2014, and I really liked his smart and direct teaching approach. He made me realize how important it is to take care about the weak part of the body and how to train this particular part. His method about teaching yoga reflects his own personality, being born in India and lived in the West for a long time. He has also an extensive knowledge about philosophy and history of yoga. In 2015, I had the pleasure to accommodate him in my house, and a simple visit it turned into a real training session for approximately 1 month and a lot of lessons for the people in my town. I had the opportunity to see how it is possible to create work and offer your own knowledge in every occasion and in every place, every time. For me, this was one of the most important lessons: be who you are and what you know, everywhere. Neil teaches to a diverse levels of students different yoga exercises depending on the individual. He teaches how to manage the time during the lesson, how to improve your mental focus, how to learn balance and keep happy face during the practice. He has a gift to recognize persons since the first meeting, and he knows how to test them. For me, Neil is a friend and counselor also, not only a great teacher. He really cares about the individual student's success and also career success. He proves this continuing support by keeping in touch with his students, following the progress. It's his mission. I'm really proud to have met him. Anita Leombruni. Geraldine Waring, London, UK. I first met Neil this spring through my son Luke, who met him in Mysore, India, in the place they were staying. Luke was interested in philosophy and engaged Neil in conversation and brought his book Hatha Yoga. Neil then came to London, where I met him and was so impressed with his happy and uplifting spirit. There I enjoyed yoga practice and talks. Neil told us about his training in Italy, and Luke went to Vinci for the 100 hours teacher training and myself to Milan. My main reason was to spend more time with Neil and have a deeper knowledge of yoga practice and yoga philosophy. After many hours of lectures, I now know that happiness is ice cream. Neil loves ice cream, and once eaten, you reach samadhi. I have been in fitness for many years and am a Pilates instructor. Now in my 60s with a few injuries, I thought my teaching days were over, but now I am interested in teaching those my age a gentler yoga and feel confident with Neil's encouragement and teaching techniques to do that. I am still in Italy and look forward to a few more days to enjoy this exceptional man's company and unique teachings. My view is that you cannot choose a better teacher. Neil is one of the foremost scholars of Sanskrit and comes from a family of yogis. He teaches with knowledge, depth, humor, and originality, and designs the course to bring out the best in each individual student. This is also because he prefers teaching and working with small groups. He encourages you to find and teach in your own style. He is an inspiration. His website is Adhyogi, meaning authentic yoga, and that is what you will experience. My journey and transformation continues with joy in my heart. Thank you, Neil. Geraldine Waring, London, UK. Isara Maglio, yoga teacher, Milan, Italy. Yoga Teacher Training Course 15-07-2015/2107-2015 Milano. This is my second yoga teacher training with Neil Kulkarni. The first time was unforgettable when I had the pleasure to do the course in Pune and live in the same house with Neil. Each yoga student should have a guide like him, a gift on spiritual path. His own system called Hatha Yoga has a perfect logic, and when you can connect, it will become a great tool for yoga study and teaching. Neil's lessons are unpredictable. One of his priorities is to develop focused mind, so he will test your attention as long as he can. The present training topics included Hatha Yoga Vinyas, general teaching techniques, and Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Neil is an attentive teacher. He always personalizes his suggestions and methods for each student's individual needs. His clear mind every time is able to create harmonious class and to stimulate a personal expression of the Hatha Yoga system. I want to thank Neil and the students of my class for the incredible experience, a great occasion of growing in a professional and personal way. Hari Om. Shanti Ayasara. Lara Pintasai, yoga teacher, Brescia, Italy. Neil is a really special master and a unique person. He gives himself completely to his students unconditionally, personally following each according to their inclinations. He has created his own system of yoga and yoga, but he gives full freedom and also invites his students to create their own style. This brings everyone to think about the logic that should to be behind each action, posture, or philosophy. He has undoubtedly studied all his life and therefore his knowledge is very vast. Those who approach Neil cannot help being impressed by his brilliant intelligence, great goodness, and irrepressible joy that spreads around him. I consider myself very lucky to have met him on my way. Laura D'Amore, yoga teacher, Torino, Italy. I met Neil in 2014 when I ran into, completely by accident, an advertisement of his course for teachers on a website dedicated to yoga. It was my first teacher training with Neil after 4 years of practice of the wonderful discipline of yoga that increasingly fascinated me. I had no particular expectations about the course. I wanted to learn, of course, and learn how to teach, but I had no idea of how such a course could be. After a few hours of training experience, I realized how lucky I was. I have met so many people who are passionate and experienced, but above all I met Neil, a true master. It is an honor and privilege to meet such a person on one's path. His teaching is clear, precise, and brilliant. It directly provides everything necessary for becoming a good yoga teacher, and it encourages its students to put into practice immediately as designed. Everything, remaining faithful to a concept, learn as much as possible, but then put it into practice in the way that makes you happy. This year, the training being in a different place and with different people, the magic was repeated and the course was punctuated by absolutely funny moments. I do not think that I would never be able to try bending all directions on the bench in Amal and Mila, if not driven by the extraordinary enthusiasm of Neil Kulkarni. Teacher training testimonials continued. Julie Britton, life coach, Wales, UK. My homework was to sit in silence daily for 30 minutes, which I found very challenging. To focus on one object. I choose my body weight as the topic. Through daily meditation, I remember how I would thrive on feeling hungry, controlling my portions to lose that next kilo. I was able to make choices around food that made me feel light, knowing when my stomach was full, and to leave feeling hungry knowing I would feel full after 20 minutes. During special occasions, eating high-carbohydrate meals and large meals at that, just drinking water and eating salad the next day to even out the amount of energy consumed. All these strategies and formulas I used to have at an early teenager at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years right up to my 30s. Then I started to suffer around food shortly after my father died. Now losing both my parents has left me dissatisfied and using food and drink as a comfort, impacting my weight gain. I then started to exercise nearly 1 to 2 hours 5 days a week over the past 2 years, which has impacted my back, knees, and neck, and now I am in so much pain I need to change my eating style altogether. So the biggest things that has helped me on this course is mind meditation with silent sitting for 30 minutes, which led from various emotions from anxiety to irritability to anger, then eventually peace and mind focus. I have developed control around food, eating less, even enjoyed pizza, pasta, and bread, which is usually the worst for me, and even now I have maintained weight balance through raw food eating, fresh vegetables, juice with fruit. Now every time I plan my food for the day, I balance it with 3 sessions of 30 minutes intervals of exercise, yoga, that are gently building strength and stamina, maintaining small portions of food or just juice or water. I have found Neil Kulkarni highly educated and well-read. Not just in yoga, he reads Sanskrit and has the original theory and history of how yoga started with meditation of the mind. It is through this knowledge I have gained control and power over my body, which I am most grateful for. Thank you, Neil. I will be back to see you. Lots of love and blessings. Mari Viterbo, yoga teacher, Italy. My second yoga teacher training with Neil has been a discovery of yoga and myself. Working with Neil is an ongoing investigation, deep and slow. The ancient knowledge of yoga is updated and adapted to the present times and to the human being who is practicing yoga at the given time. I am grateful to Neil for his vibrant presence on the planet Earth, for his way of being on different floors, for his knowledge, and for his love. And I sincerely thank those who have lived with me deeply this path. An alchemy that, if well prepared, lets you change the perspective of interior vision and life. Mariangela Viterbo.